You're all welcome back to today's analysis, guys. And like we used to do it, I'm going to be picking three assets from the chat box. So I would want you to drop the asset you want us to look into in the chat box, and I'm going to be picking three of it and making analysis on them. So I'm going to be waiting, guys. Make use of the chat box, please. Beautiful. We have V10S, we have the V25, V50, V10, V100, V75. Okay. So I'm going to be picking. All right, I'm going to be picking V10S, V25. Wow. Okay. Let me just pick those two first, and I'm going to just select one because I can see a lot of people mentioning different assets. So let's just pick those two first, then eventually we're going to pick the remaining one. Okay. So let's get started with volatility 10-1S. Right. Let's get started with that. All right. This is volatility 10-1X. And we're going to get started from the 24 hours time frame. Guys, please, if you're in a noisy place, you can mute yourself. And if you're not in a noisy place, you can unmute yourself so that I can know people are still with me, okay? This is so that we can avoid distraction. So this is volatility 10-1S. And basically, you can see what the is doing. We've been
Good. Yes, am I?
you unmute. Can you unmute? Can you mute yourself? Please, can you mute yourself if your place is noisy, please? This is so that we can avoid distraction and we can be done as soon as possible. Okay. Now, this is volatility 10-1S, and over time for this particular structure, we're not going to be looking at the left-hand side for now. Over time, you can see that we've been trending to the downside. Market has been trending to the downside, but where we had our last change of character was the upside.
Capitalizing on the opening range breakout technique. You can set the indicator to identify the high and low points of the market.
So we have this. Guys, please, can you mute yourself so that we can get done as soon as possible? All right, so you can see that we had our last change of character to the upside at this particular area. And this is obviously a major high because you can see that we manipulated the previous high here. So this is the low. The overall low, we are not expecting market to come back to take. Every other thing inside here is still an internal until market takes this particular low. That is when we're going to be sure that market wants to start trending to the downside. But for now, we are still in between this range of this particular. So let's see where market is currently reacting for this current sell. So we're going to be marking this low. We had a break of structure here. Of course, that's the last previous low that we had a major break of structure, right? We had a major break of structure here. Every other thing, you can see that they are ring structure. They are just structures that have been created outside this particular break of structure, a particular structure. We had a deep retracement. So every low that is being created here, you can see that they are not highs that give a deep retracement. So we're going to be marking out this. So I'm citing a major here. I'm citing a major here, right? This is a major. And if there is any liquidity that has been created for the major that is here, it is obviously this high, right? this is the high that's been created as a liquidity for the major that is around here. So let's still leave that place. So where is the market currently reacting? That's our next point of question, or that's our next question. Where is the market currently reacting now? Now we took this high, and I made mention of it earlier that all other structures that has been created outside this break of structure, So you can see that this high has been taken. But the next question is that where market is currently reacting to, is it a very valid area of interest? Let's see that. I'm going to be placing this. Is where market's reacting to currently a very valid point of interest. So let's check our 8 hours time frame, because as you can see on this 24 hours time frame, we're only seeing weeks, right?
Then my liquidity is 0.7. Then entering at 2.15, no longer.
Please
So
mute your
noise,
please. So you can see that this is where market is currently reacting to, which is what we call an interest candle. We can call it an interest candle. However, an interest candle cannot sustainably hold that sell, because obviously we are expecting market to break this low. So I'm not so sure or to hold that sell for a long term. But however, there's nothing markets cannot do. Okay, so we're going to be looking at the current movement of the market to be able to determine where our next point of action is going to be. Maybe we're going to be looking out for a continuous buy, or we're going to be looking out for continuous sell. So let's just look at what market is currently doing in the present structure. Okay, so we had a high, we had a low, we had our change of character here. This is a change of character. And since we had a change of character here, remember, this is where we are expecting market to come back to break. So let's see, we had a change of character here. We still had a void. We still have some void here. The market is yet to fill. So we're just going to be marking out that void just this way. Okay, we're going to be marking out just that. We're going to be marking out the void just that way, right? And for market to come back to this area, where is the possible liquidity that has to be taken? It is this high. And that is if market is willing to come back to that particular area. So this is the possible liquidity. We are just marking out our projected liquidity, our projected structure, and every other thing. But where we had our last change of character is to the downside. Since we had our change of character to the downside here, and this is a possible liquidity, we will not neglect to the fact that market actually took a low to the downside. In as much as this is our projected liquidity, we will still not neglect the fact that we still had a break of structure to the downside. And in fact, it was an impulsive break of structure. Merely looking at it, we call it in BOS. That is, market took it out impulsively. So in as much as we are marking this particular high as a projected inducement or a projected liquidity, we are still not going to neglect the fact that we had a break of structure to the downside. So let's go to our 4 hours time frame and see what market is currently doing with that particular break of structure to the downside. So a high, we sweat this low. Okay, I came back to take this side. Okay. So we had a break to the downside. And volatility 1 is. So the next question is there any area here that markets could possibly use? So let's check the 2 hours time frame. If there's any area markets could possibly use for a sell continuation, our target is going to be this low. Our target is going to be this low. So if there's any place market is going to use at this area, we're just going to assume it as a range structure continuation. Okay, so we had a break to the downside. Let's just carefully look at this. We had a break to the downside, right? There was a break to the downside. We had this sponsored candle untested, so we're still going to mark out this sponsored candle as untested. Let's just mark it that way. You can see there is a little fair value gap at that untested area. So let's just mark out that sponsored candle as untested. We had another break to the downside. Area market could possibly come back to use. We could say we're coming back to use this sponsored candle. The last area that took out liquidity, we had this candle. Okay. So we could possibly say this area. So let's mark the body and so let's mark that. But as you can see, markets are created a lot of wick, and we call it a weak eye. This is actually a weak eye because you can see that we had a lot of wicks that were created. There were a lot of wicks that were created around this area, and we do not really want markets to use wicks for a continuation to the downside. That's not the only area that will give us a confirmation that market is going to use this area is when market breaks this particular low. I think I marked it out this morning when I was making analysis. The only area that would confirm that this place is going to be valid for our sales continuation is this particular low. Remember, we are still inside a range. Now, why did I mark this low out? If you check your 1 hour time frame or 30 minutes time frame, you're going to see what we had here. We had a high being swept. Market swept this high, came back and swept this low, this particular low. After sweeping that low, we had a break to the upside. We had a break to the upside. Now, if market is going to continue that sell, if market is going to continue a sell, we need this low to be taken out first. Remember, it is a major low, right? It's taken out first if market is going to continue the sell movement. But I'm not saying an area whereby we can continue our buy setup yet. And the reason is because you can see all of these places has been tested. See all these weeks. In fact, market has been creating a balanced area over time. You can see that we had this place tested. This particular low tested this also. So every place is balanced. Everywhere is balanced. Yeah. So there's no specific untested area whereby we can continue the sell. But let's check on the lower time frame, like 15 minutes or 10 minutes time frame. So let's just make do with 10 minutes time frame. All right, you can see that there is no area whereby we had any untested zone for the buy continuation. So if market is currently reacting here right now, and we're having this major sell, what you're just expecting is market to take this particular low. If market takes this low, then our target or where we are expecting market to take overhaul is this particular low. So we're going to get if market breaks this area. So let me see where market is currently using for a reaction. Let's just check that. You can see market actually created a double top. Market created a double top there. We've not taken that high. So it is still very possible that market is going to break that low. It is still very possible. But then we are not going to be assuming for the market. Okay. It's just what we call double top. I'm very sure everybody knows double top here, except if you're new to trading. So that's a double top there. So since we created that double top, we are not expecting market to break this major low. If at all it is going to continue the buy setup. Okay. We are not expecting it to break this major low. But if it does not break this major low, okay, if it does not break this major low, then the next line of action is we are expecting market to break a particular high for us to make a continuation to the upside, right? So let's see. We had our last break of structure to the downside here. This is the last break of structure. When market takes this high, don't start looking for a buy setup. It's not time to start looking for a buy setup because markets could possibly do something like this and still continue to the downside. So the only high that will be taken for market to continue that buy setup is this high. But basically, what I am expecting from the market personally is for this low to be broken, market to come back and break this low, because I'm not going to look for a buy setup yet. Until market takes this high, then I can start saying, let me look for a continuation. And the funny thing is that if this high is broken, listen attentively, guys. If this high, this particular high, if it is broken, market would come back and take this low. If this high is broken, we'll come back and take this low and continue the buy setup. If that high is broken before market comes back to this area, market would take this low. This low is still a major until this high is taken. Once this high is taken, it becomes what we call an internal major that can be raided. It is still a major, but it can be raided, but it is internal. So market has every right to come back to raid it after this high has been broken. So the only reason we are saying we are expecting market to break this low, for what I am just expecting is market breaking this low. And after this low is broken, once this low is broken, I'm going to start looking for internal structure continuation. I'll look for market to come back to this area, This is an untested zone here. So let's patiently wait to see what market is going to display, because at the area it is right now, we cannot get either a buy setup or a sell setup, except it gives a break of structure, either to the upside or to the downside. And once it gives a break of structure above this high, if it gives a break of structure above this high, this low is going to become a liquidity for it to take to continue the buy setup. Please take note of that. But if we do not break this high and market breaks this particular low, then we're going to be looking for a sales continuation till this low is taken. So that is my current view on volatility 10. And okay, volatility 25. So we're going to be going into volatility 25 right now. I'm very sure that I've done justice to volatility 10S, and I've given different views on what is going to happen. If this particular low is broken before the high, then we're going to look for a sales continuation inside there. In fact, this particular POI, that's if market breaks that low. I'm going to be looking at this particular POI for a sales continuation. But if market comes back and break this high, once this high is broken, I'm going to mark out this low as my projected inducement. I'm not going to continue buying from this area. So I'm going to wait for market to take this low, buy continuation. And that is it for volatility 10, 1S. So let's go to volatility 25. All right, 24 hours time frame. If you watched my private live section that I did with my partner, I think some days back that I uploaded on my YouTube channel, you will notice that we've been speaking about this particular volatility 25, in as much as it is still inside the range. And in fact, in most of our live sections, I think I made mention of this particular volatility 25. I made mention of it in my previous live section. And I said we are still currently in an up engine. Market has not given a visible area of break. Okay, it has not given a visible area of break, but we are still trending to the upside based on the current market structure that market is displaying. This is a range. However, inside, in the internal structures that is forming is actually giving us more of a bias than a sell. And you can see that we had this low swept, but it was not broken. This low was swept, but not broken. And you can see that when market is currently reacting, is our sponsored candle. This is a sponsored candle here. This is our sponsored candle. Some minutes, please. We had a sweep to the downside. There was a sweep to the downside. And where is the candle that actually swept that low to the downside? This is the candle here. And you can see how market has been reacting at that candle. Now, this is our sponsored candle, and this is our primary area of interest. And you can see how market came back to this area of void. We call it area of void. You can see that we had market coming back to fill them, okay? And you can see that the first time market came back into this void area, we could not break this high. Market could not come back and break this high. So this particular movement back to the downside just gave us a sweep, not a break. We've not had a break to the downside, so we still had a sweep. But this current area of reaction for the sell is a very good area. I think I even dropped the what's the name? I dropped the analysis in my channel that this area market is reacting this particular sell before markets actually got there. And you can see that we reacted perfectly to it just for us to come back and hunt this low. And if there is any area that we would say we had a break of structure currently with what market is currently doing, we had a break of structure to the upside here. There was a break of structure to the upside. Okay. And the only reason markets could come back to take this low or to sweep this low was because this low was taken. If this low was not taken, if market had continued with this particular area, would have still been trending to the upside. This I come back and do a hunt of liquidity, or what we call a sweep. A lot of people know sweep more than they know hunt of liquidity. So let's just put it at sweep. So if you check our 4 hours time frame, let's just dive into 4 hours time frame and see what exactly we are doing. If you check the 4 hours time frame, you will notice that the reason I said this is the last break of structure was because this low is not a major. This low is not a major. In as much as we had a change of character here, there's a change of character here. But do not neglect the fact that market actually came back and took this major also. It took this major also. Okay. Now, after taking this major, the internal structure we're going to be marking out is obviously this high. And you can see that we had a sweep of this low. Market swept this previous low. Making this area a valid area for us. And currently where market is reacting is at breaker based on this distance and momentum. Market is reacting at our breaker level. See where market is currently reacting. Now, markets did not tap into that breaker level fully. Hence why we did not make analysis on the continuation. A candle is kind of dangerous, okay? It is kind of dangerous. So, but sorry about that, guys. But when we had this reaction, if you check this internal structure or this retracement that we had to the downside, we had this high being manipulated, making this high a major. So this high is obviously a major. And the major has been taken. And we had to come back to this particular area for reaction. We had to come back there for a reaction. However, you can see that this low did not go deep into this internal structure. So I'm going to be liquidity. I'll mark this low out as my projected liquidity, but I'm going to check on the higher time frame to see what it looks like, if it is possible for market to come back. Okay. It has been filled. Every place has been filled, and I'm not expecting market to use a week. So I'm just going to mark out, in as much as I'm projecting it as an inducement, but I'm going to mark this high out as a break of structure also. We have our break of structure here. So let's check 30 minutes for a possible continuation. So my expectation here is that market should come back and take this low. That's my expectation. So when we take this low, I'm just expecting something like this. This is my expectation for volatility 25. I'm not even going to be looking for a sales because it's a retracement and there's no visible area for a sell continuation, just for us to, take the opposite direction structure. But currently, the last break of structure is to the upside and we already have an untested zone here. You can see this void area. So I'm expecting market to continuation setup. I would have asked us to look for a sell continuation only if market has given a visible break of structure area. This particular low is not a break of structure. In fact, it's not a change of character. The market just took it as, let's say, inducement. So we can still continue that structure to the upside. So it is only when market gives a visible break of structure to the downside, then we can start saying we want to look out for our projected inducements where market would use for continuation to the sell. And your TP would have been this low. But where the market is currently, and this is a void area, this is our projected inducement or projected liquidity for market to take. And once market takes it, I'm just going to, look for a continuation for my buy setup. And it is as simple as that. So we're going to be analyzing volatility 50, but okay. Let me just analyze volatility 50 and we're done for the day. This was just my markup this morning, but let me just start from the 24 hours. So 24 hours time frame, it is very obvious we had a break of structure to the side. This is a break of structure to the side. This is my project.
I'm willing to know.
My projected inducements, but because of that distance and momentum, I doubt if markets would come back, to that inducement. Is a projected inducement. So let's see what markets will do. So we'll still mark it out as an internal break. So 4 hours time frame. Four hours time frame, okay? Where market is reacting currently, is it a valid zone? It is. It's a valid zone. However, as we are looking at the left-hand side, let's be looking at the right-hand side. Where is our normal proper break of structure to this right-hand side? Our break of structure is to the downside. Yeah? A break of structure is to the downside. And this is a of liquidity. This is an inducement. So since that is an inducement, right? Good. A good area of reaction on tested zone. So 30 minutes time frame. 30 minutes. Okay. Please, who is writing on my, oh God. So BMX. I'm looking for a sales on this volatility 50. This is where I'm looking for my sales. I'm looking for my sales there. That's the area I'll be looking for sales on volatility 50.
Yes, so
That's my area of, my outlook for sell on volatility 50. So that's just it. I've made analysis on 3 assets: volatility 10-1S, volatility 25, and volatility 50. So that's going to be all for today analysis, guys. If I do my private analysis with my partner, we might actually upload it either today or tomorrow, anyone, so that you guys can also learn from it, okay? So that's just going to be all for this morning, guys. Please, I'm not going to be taking questions today, please. Please, I'm not going to be taking questions today. Thank you very much for coming. How do you manage your trades? Guys, I'm going to open my group. You guys can drop your questions there, and I'm going to attend to them once I'm done. Thank you, guys.